Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Friday program where we discuss a little more deeper topics, because some people have already started chanting and reading, so further knowledge, information for practicing Krishna consciousness. Today we are covering the topic of the 4 liberative principles, a prerequisite to spiritual life. We want to practice spiritual life. So what are the qualifications, what are the prerequisites required? We'll cover it today. You know this word, it comes in college a lot, prerequisite module. Okay. Now when we are speaking about, actually the topic is the 4 liberative principles. Okay. We're going to discuss these topics today. The 4 regulative principles. Now look, it changed from liberative to regulative. Actually they're known as the 4 regulative principles in ISKCON, and but regulation, people don't like this word nowadays. Rules, regulations. So we say liberative because it's leading to liberation. 4 regulative principles. Then we look at Srimad Bhagavatam, mention on the 4 regs, 4 regulative principles, and the 4 pillars of religion. I don't know, some of you may be familiar with these topics. And following the 4 regs. Okay, so start off with the 4 regulative principles. Okay, tell me one. 4 regulative principle. 1. No meeting. No gambling. No intoxication. Yeah. Okay, we are covering the 4 regulative principles. In ISKCON we have many different rules and regulations for coming up in spiritual life. And well, to be honest, anything we do in life, there are rules and regulations. Anything. If you're driving, if you're in college, if you're playing sports, there are rules and regulations. And if someone wants to achieve something, they should be ready to follow rules, regulations, and make sacrifices. For example, now you're in college, you go and learn your subjects, but you could be outside doing something else, but you're saying, okay, let me sacrifice and be there. So in the same way, in spiritual life there are regulations. In the modern day, people don't like this. They'll quote so many things like, you know, this Leela, the Shabari in Ramayana, she didn't have any rules. Simply bhakti, no rules. Krishna sees your love only. So it's, well, he sees your love. Then if you love him, you'll follow his rules. Yeah, he does see your love, but in order to show that love, Krishna has given regulation, and if you follow, then he becomes happy. So just like anything else we do in spiritual life, there are regulations. So these 4 regulative principles are there. Okay. Why do we restrict these 4 activities? Why are they restricted? Let's look at it. Okay, now Srimad Bhagavatam, it mentions about these 4 regulative principles. And also what is the harm in them, and how, because in the beginning of Kali Yuga, all of this sinful degradation happened. So it mentions about Kali Yuga. It's named after the Kali Purusha. Okay, let's look at it. This is a picture of King Parikshit and punishment of the Kali Purusha. King Parikshit, who is his father? Naman, who is the father of King Parikshit? You know? Okay. Yash?
I think Arjun's grandfather.
Correct. Arjun's grandfather. So, who is the father of? Abhimanyu, correct. This is the line, Arjun, Abhimanyu, Parikshit Maharaj. So, Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjun. He ruled after the Pandavas left. He was a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Krishna came in the womb just to save him from the Brahmastra. Some ancient nuclear weapon was launched specifically to kill him, the last of the dynasty. But he was protected by Krishna himself. Okay, so now let's go back, because there are actually some events that happened in this planet when Kali Yuga came. And those events explain to us about the 4 regulative principles. Okay, now before we go on, how many of you have not heard about 4 regulative principles in ISKCON, like what I'm mentioning before? All of you are familiar before this class? These 4 regulative principles. You're familiar with this, yes? Okay. But let's look at the background. Okay. When Krishna left this planet, that was just after the battle of Kurukshetra, then he went to Dwarka. He went to Dwarka first, then Kurukshetra war happened, some events happened. At one point, Krishna left. Okay, this is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Krishna left. He left a material body, but all the demigods present saw him just going up personally. But those who were atheists, they didn't see him, they just saw that he left a body. And Krishna did it because this planet is for atheists. So he didn't want to disturb them. You want to continue believing Krishna as a man? Okay, you can do that. When Krishna left, Srimad Bhagavatam says, what left? 2 things. Dharma and Gyan also left. Krishna swadhamopagate dharma jnana dibi saha kalau nashta desha. Okay, that's second part. Anyway, Krishna swadhamopagate dharma jnana dibi saha. When Krishna left, he took dharma, religiosity, and he took knowledge. That is the beginning of Kali Yuga. There's actually a calculation that they can do. It comes to 5,200 something. The beginning of Kali Yuga. And some people are saying it's about to end. No. 427,000 years remaining. So once when Parikshit Maharaj was touring around his kingdom, Krishna had left. Kali Yuga was supposed to have started now. So then what happened is that he saw a cow and a bull. The cow was crying. The bull had lost 3 of its legs because one person was cutting the legs. So he got very angry. That bull was the personification of religion, dharma. And that bull was the personification of dharma. Dharma personified is in the form of a bull. And earth, planet personified, is in the form of a cow. So the personification of the earth and dharma were there in miserable condition. So King Parikshit got angry. He came with his sword. And he saw the man who was about to, harm, who was already harmed the bull. And he lifted his sword to kill this man. Who is this man? This is Kali Purusha. Now we know this age is called Kali Yuga. What does that mean? Kali Yuga has certain characteristics. Kali Yuga is infused with Tamogun and Rajagun. Tamogun is a gun. The effect of it is people are basically mad. It's written in Gita. They are mad. Mad in the sense they cannot understand what we should do, what we should not do. Mad, lazy, and does opposite. What is religion they consider to be irreligion, what is irreligion they consider to be religion. Tamogun. Rajagun, simply enjoy. That's it. That's their mind. So in Kali Yuga, these 2 gunas are so prominent that it's considered a very dangerous age. In the Vedas, everything is personified. Every energy, there's a personality governing it. Water, air, everything. Mind, intelligence. So Kali Yuga's personification exists. We cannot see him, but he exists. Parikshit Maharaj saw him. So now, the effect of Kali is very strong in Kali Yuga. And this age is very dangerous for man The reason is because in Kali Yuga, all good qualities of man disappear. Patience, tolerance, religiosity, religion, knowledge, you said that, knowledge, cleanliness, mercy, compassion, everything disappears. The sages read about Kali Yuga, and because of that they had meetings just before Kali Yuga, how to save the people, how to save the people. Very dangerous age is coming, everything will break down. So Kali Yuga is very dangerous, and but of course not for those who don't have knowledge, they don't understand this. Okay, there in Shastra says horrific accounts what will happen in Kali Yuga. We are seeing crimes are getting worse, wars are getting worse, deterioration is happening. So this is effect of Kali Purusha. Okay, but now we've gone back in history when Kali Yuga just started. So Parikshit Maharaj saw Kali had harmed the bull, the religious principles, and the cow, the planet Earth was crying because of that. So he lifted his sword to kill, and he said that how dare you in the land ruled by the great Pandavas and Bharat and Ikshvaku, how dare you come here and try to take away these religious principles. So when he did that, Kali Purusha immediately asked for mercy, and he came and touched the feet of Parikshit Maharaj. Now, honorable Kshatriyas, if anybody takes shelter of them, they give them shelter. So he didn't kill him. He said, okay, you have taken shelter of me. Okay. So then King Parikshit told Kali Purush, now you have to leave this place, come out, go out of my kingdom, that's it. Then only I'll save you. Then the Kali Purush told him, you are ruling the whole planet, where will I go? The whole planet is your kingdom. So what do I do? So then King Parikshit said, you can reside where religious principles are broken. What are the religious principles? Tell me one religious principles. Yeah, correct. Whoever knows that. You know the religious 4 pillars of religion? Mercy and? Austerity. Tell me one. Huh? Cleanliness, mercy, austerity, cleanliness, and? Huh? No. Mercy, austerity, cleanliness, and truth. Truth. These are principles of religion. Okay? Now I'm going to read a specific section of Srimad Bhagavatam which talks about this. So Bhagavad is again just what we're doing here, that Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining this whole episode, what happened when Kali Purush came. Okay, so now in Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 34, this Leela is being narrated. Okay, now it came to a part here, 117, 38. Sorry, wrong one. So Kali Purusha was told, you can reside where religious principles are broken. So Kali Purusha replied to King Parikshit that your rule on this planet is such that there are no religious principles broken. You have maintained the religion everywhere. So I'm not able to go anywhere. So now in this explanation of this verse, Srila Prabhupada says that actually for a ruler, a person who is ruling a country or is in charge of anything, a school, a family, a country, or whatever it is, his duty is to represent God, Krishna, and maintain the pillars of religion. He's supposed to do that. So now in a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam explaining this, okay, I'm reading from this. It says, Sudha Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. So wherever the 4 principles are broken, he was told to go there. So that means wherever there's gambling, intoxication, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Okay? So what does this mean? anywhere where these four things are happening is really not suitable, I mean very difficult to practice spirituality. Now, where is it not happening today? I'm not saying where it's happening. This is life, isn't it? This is life now. You can't escape it. It's everywhere in Kali Yuga. So, now Prabhupada explains that, you see, these principles, he says in the purport explanation, those who are in the lower stage of, those in the lower stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine, women, flesh drinking, etc. These things, these are previously the lower section of society used to do these things, and they were banned only. They were given permission only to reside in the forest. They were living in the forest, not in the main human society. This was not allowed at all in human society. By force, by violence, they kept these people out. Okay, so it says here, these things were meant for a particular class of people, not for all. Because only certain people could not refrain from that. So then, okay, they were saying, okay, do it, but not in here, not in the city. They should go out. Okay, so this was allowed for them. So now Parikshit Maharaj, he saw that these principles were being introduced just like that in the society. So he fought it. But actually, Kali Purusha, it was the time of Kali Purusha to come. Kali Yuga had to start. Krishna had just left. So Kali Yuga starting, so he came. But because Parikshit Maharaj, he had, due to powerful spiritual energy, he was able to stop it. It was unusual. Kali had to start, but he was so powerful that he could even see Kali Purusha. We cannot see him. He saw him and he stopped it. So now when he was told to stop, he said he was given a place to go, and the place is wherever these things are practiced. Irreligious, sinful activities. Okay, like we say, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit. These are the four things where Kali resides. So anywhere these four things are practiced, it's very hard to practice any form of dharma. It's very hard to advance spiritually, in such a place. And actually, previously it was the duty of the state to stop these four activities. Why? Because if they happened, the population will become like animals, not human level. And now we see that people on animal level. You can see that from the crimes that are committed and the kind of things that are going on in our society, that people are, all civility, religiosity has gone. So the state must categorically stop all sorts of gambling, drinking, prostitution and falsity. The state which wants to eradicate corruption by majority may introduce these following principles. Prabhupada gave 3 principles which he said the state should introduce. Number 1, 2 compulsory fasting days in a month, if not more. Which are those? Ekadashi days. Even from the economic point of view, such 2 fasting days in a month will save a lot of food, Prabhupada says. The system will act favorably on the health of the citizens. Do you know one principle? That when you understand Nirjal, when we don't eat anything, at that state what happens? For whole day, many devotees on whole Ekadashi won't eat anything. What happens then? The body, it says that the body eats itself. What happens is that the body looks for all the sick cells in the body and eats them. First to go will be cancer or cancer cells, sick cells, disease cells, they'll all be destroyed. And so it's very powerful for health, but that's not why we do it. We do it because Krishna likes it. Okay? Next, Prabhupada is saying, how to stop the decline of religious principles. He writes in point number 2, here in Bhagavatam, there must be compulsory marriage of young boys and girls attaining 24 years of age and 16 years of age, respectively. There is no harm in co-education in schools and colleges, provided boys and girls are duly married. That won't happen nowadays. And in case there's any intimate connection between a male and female, they should be married properly without illicit relation. The Divorce Act is encouraging prostitution. This should be abolished. So Prabhupada is explaining, you see that illicit relation between men and women creates a lot of problems. I don't know who's keeping up with the news. You can see we're losing count of the number of people being killed in the name of someone loving someone else, or killing their wife or husband, putting them in a fridge, or digging them in the ground. We're losing count. It's happening a lot now, a lot, all over India. So when lust is not stopped, it leads to krodh. Kam is not stopped, then krodh comes, anger. Sorry, when lust is stopped, someone has excess lust, cannot fulfill, then krodh, anger comes. In that anger, they'll do anything. If it is satisfied, then lobh comes, greed. More satisfaction is required, more. Okay, so anyway, Prabhupada writes here how this is harmful. Gambling also and speculative business enterprises is considered degrading. Basically makes people lie, cheat in order to get the money. Okay, so this is mentioned in one of the verses. So now what happened is, Kali Purusha was told to reside in these places. But he said, personality of Kali asked for something more, because the king, he didn't allow these activities to happen. So then he was told that you should live wherever there is gold, because where there is gold, there is falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Where there is gold, it's written here. So now in this way, Kali Purusha resides in gold. Where there's a lot of money and gold, you cannot, it's very hard to find religious people, principals, unless they are devotees. And sometimes Krishna sends a lot of money to a devotee, family or person, if he knows they'll not misuse. But according to karma, some people get a lot of money. When there's a lot of money, it's actually a big disqualification for bhakti. But people can do if they're able to. But generally speaking.
Money is counted as Lakshmi.
Yeah, money is expansion of Lakshmi, and Lakshmi belongs with Vishnu. But they'll not worship Vishnu, they'll use the Lakshmi for their...
So how can Kali come to gold or Lakshmi?
See, Lakshmi with Vishnu is no problem. But we're talking about people using Lakshmi, not Vishnu. I mean, nothing religious. Keep the money and enjoy it. Then it's not Lakshmi, it is, energy is Indra's wife, Shachi. It's mentioned. If people worship Lakshmi separate from Vishnu, she turns into another personality. It's not, she's never separate from Vishnu. Okay, so then he is residing in gold also. Okay, so now from this we understand that the principles of Kali are very powerful where the four eggs are broken. The four regulative principles. Okay, so in order for someone to begin a spiritual life and to advance, one has to take up following the four regulative principles. Okay, and these four regulative principles are not spiritual. They're not, it's not a spiritual act like chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasad, etc. But it leads to spirituality. Because to practice spirituality, we have to become free of this excessive effect of Maya. Krishna has energy called Maya, deluding potency. That anybody who desires not to serve Krishna is covered by this energy. So when this energy covers us, we forget who we are, we forget everything. By guidance from the Shastra, one can come out of Maya. So step number one to understand is that Maya becomes very powerful where these four activities are practiced: gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, and meat eating. So where these are, Maya is strong. So if one wants to come out of Maya, these things have to be given up. Now let's look more deeper at the four pillars of religion. Okay, now we mentioned that personification of religion, dharma, is in the form of a bull. And this bull has 4 legs. The 4 legs represent 4 pillars of religion. Satyam, Tapa, Shaucham, Daya. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, beginning of Satya Yuga, all the four legs were intact. As at the end of Satya Yuga and during Satya Yuga, everyone was of the highest state of Varnashram. There was only one caste. And everyone got liberation. When we came to the end of Satya Yuga, one leg went. Okay. Shaucham. Then, beginning of Treta Yuga, 3 legs. End of Treta Yuga, deterioration happened again, 2 legs went. Then, end of Dwapara Yuga, 3 legs. The only legs left now is truth, Satyam, in this world. Compassion is not there, cleanliness and austerity are not there anymore. People cannot do austerity. Cleanliness means also cleanliness of the heart, clean heart. So, the legs of this religion personified are not there anymore. Practically speaking, if someone really is following a religion, these 4 things have to be there. They must be truth. For example, if people are lying, this truth means 2 things. Generally telling the truth, because if we're lying, then how can you deliver spiritual knowledge? You cannot properly deliver spiritual knowledge to someone if lie, that is prominent. Okay? So one is that. Another truth is the truth, Satyam, in other words, religion, knowledge. One has to be dedicated to seeking that. One has to glorify that. So then that is Satyam. So for religion to be there, one has to be glorifying the truth. Second is Tapa, austerity. Why do we say that religion, one of the legs is austerity? Because we have this material body. Material body demands a lot of things. It's demanding, right? It may demand food, maybe restricted food items. Okay. Now it may demand to sleep 12 hours. It may demand to satisfy anger in some way. Okay. It may demand, of course, illicit relation with women. So Tapa means the body is demanding, but I am not listening. I am not going to give it. That is austerity, isn't it? Why do we say that marriage is a religious act? It's a religious act. It's considered holy. Because someone willingly is not living like a dog or cat and saying, I'll just go anywhere. I'm going to fix with one partner. So that is considered religious. But illicit, there is no responsibility, which is increasing now, this live-in and all this. But these also end up very badly, if you see. It ends up very badly because they know religion. You see, in marriage, God is in the center. Now in live-in relation, what's in the center? My enjoyment. My enjoyment is not coming anymore. So, okay, let's end it. But we're not ending, they'll demand money, okay, kill them. If as long as God is not in the center of a family or in a marriage, this is what will happen. So Tapa means body is demanding, I want to eat this, I want to do that, and we are saying no restriction, we're going to do this. So for you to practice religion, we have to have a power of austerity, self-control. Okay, Shaucham, cleanliness. Cleanliness is close to godliness. Where cleanliness is there, Sattva Guna is there. And where Sattva Guna is, the spiritual energy can come easily. Spirituality can come. It cannot come in the dirty place. Therefore, even any religious system, it's supposed to be that we keep very clean. For example, in ISKCON we are taught, morning, wake up, take a bath, wear clean, fresh cloth, then go for Mangalarti. Okay, and Prabhupada emphasized a second shower in the day, sometime third. And after, when the heat of the day is over, we take a second shower, again freshen up ourselves, and he said, then very easily you can think of Krishna in that clean state. Otherwise, biologically anyone will tell you that when you sweat and when the dust is there, the pores of the skin get blocked. Well, many things happen. And other thing about bathing is water reinvigorates the subtle body, prana energy, especially cold water. So cleanliness. For there to be religiosity, cleanliness has to be there, because when we practice religion, we want to come in contact with spiritual energy. That will only come in subtle. And if there's no sattvagun, what happens is that that religious practice will bring you to sattvagun first. Gradually you'll become like, I have to be clean, automatically it comes. Okay, shaucham, cleanliness. Then daya, compassion. Compassion on other living entities. This is, and compassion on the earth, not polluting, and compassion on other living entities, because they all belong to God. Everything, all the jivas are belonging to God. If we don't have compassion on them, then how can we attain the favor of God? So these principles, these are principles of religion, and they represent the four legs of the bull, the personification of Dharma. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay, so now these principles have to be maintained, but if they are broken, then this is the beginning of the end of human civilization. In another verse here in Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 17, text 24, it says, in the age of Satya, what I repeated about the four legs. So now what has happened in Kali Yuga, these principles are being broken. What happens when we break these four principles? Let's look at it here. Satyam, truth. First of all, truth is broken by gambling. Gambling means, you know, gambling. But another gambling, there are two other gambles. One is speculative market, share trading. This is like a gamble, and this, what this does, it erodes truth, because to win in this, you have to lie, you have to cheat. There's a lot of cheating happening in these markets, underhand dealings and illegal. So Satyam, truth, is broken by gambling. Even normal gambling, it destroys truth. Okay, next, austerity. Austerity is destroyed by intoxication. When we take intoxication, we become addicted. When you become addicted, then you have to again do it. You're not able to stop. So intoxication destroys austerity. Austerity, the more one has austerity, the more they're able to live, simply tolerate whatever people say, and then you'll be happy. But if you don't have austerity, then your body demands comforts a lot, and you have to supply the comfort. Then it's a difficult way of living. Therefore, traditionally, within society, you'll see one of the poorest communities was the Brahmana. They kept themselves poor because one is, if they don't get a salary, no one can control them. Even from the king, they'll go and tell the king, this is wrong, what you're doing. King can't say, I'm taking away your salary. How can you know? There's no salary. I don't depend on you. Even their wealth, there was no wealth. They live very simply. Whatever they'll pick up from the ground and cook it and like that. So in this way they were very always pleased, satisfied, not worrying about theft, not worrying about anything. Tapa, austerity. Next, cleanliness. This is destroyed by illicit relation with women. Now Prabhupada explains here, when we say cleanliness, it's two. Cleanliness outside the body and inside the body. Outside the body, generally what follows after this is a lot of odor, body odor. It's a fact. External cleanliness standard goes down. Internal cleanliness means actually seeing, dirt in the heart increases, lust, anger, envy. This increases with illicit relation with women. Okay, illicit means out of marriage. Daya, compassion, is destroyed by meat eating. If I have no problem killing an animal, oh, I'm not killing, someone is killing, and I eat, then we are not very far from killing a human being. Oh, we don't care. It's very easy to use the same knife on a human. I already killed the animal. I have no problem with blood and seeing it cut. But nowadays they do a good job of hiding it. They hide it. You eat it, we'll kill it. You eat it, take it, buy it. Then it's easier. But it's still harmful because Shastra says 6 people are punished when animals killed. The one who killed it, the one who cooked it, the one who sold it, the one who bought it, the one who ate it, and I missed one. What? Not encouraged. One who killed it. Huh? No. One. Okay, let's start again. Serve, maybe, yeah, or sold. I said that. One who killed it, one who bought it, one who sold it, one who cooked it, one who ate it, and one more somewhere. Okay. So they're all punished. So what happens with meat eating is that compassion goes. When compassion goes, we get more cruel propensity. So for there to be somebody religious, spiritual, this quality has to be there, compassion. If people want to achieve any spiritual perfection and liberation, these have to be there. If for there to be religion, these things should be there. Satyam, tapa should be there. And if any of these activities are practiced, it is not according to Veda's religious system. It's known as some sub-religious system. Also, what will happen then is it will look like a religion, but actually these things will be going on. These things will be missing. The compassion, all these will be missing. So it must be there for any religious system. This is according to Shastra, the 4 regulative principles. Okay, the 4 regulative principles. Now let's go in detail what this means. Okay, no meat eating means no meat, no fish. Some people think fish is vegetarian. In the West, they think egg. But this egg is liquid meat. If you left that thing alone, it will become animal if it was fertilized. Okay, fish is not a plant. You don't plant in the ground and it grows. Oyster, all these things. These are flesh. No meat, fish, eggs. Number 2, no gambling. Now included here sports. Okay, this will seem strange. And look, I'm explaining what is the principles. Some of you may not be on the level, whatever. That's okay. We are just understanding what are the principles. So sports, gambling, speculative markets. These things erode the truth. Propensity. Yes.
What about stock market?
Yeah, stock market. That is speculative markets. Stock market. You buy, then it's going up, it's going low, I'll win, I'll gain. These things, it creates a certain mentality and character which is not conducive for spiritual life. We have to develop a certain quality. Like I said, these are not spiritual principles, but for you to come on a spiritual platform, these things have to be followed. Okay, that's gambling. Intoxication. Okay, we have our usual alcohol, that's known. Of course, drugs. This destroys tapa. Okay, now we have other surprise things you may not think. Tea, coffee, alcohol. That is legal drugs. We have legal and illegal drugs. According to any book of medicine, they list caffeine as a drug. Book of drugs, book of medicines. Caffeine is included. Somehow in our age, caffeine became legal and people are taking daily thick dose of caffeine. Actually, we are addicted. Sometimes I joke with people, are you addicted? I'm not addicted. You're addicted. I'm not. Don't take it. Why not? I have to have my coffee in the morning. Don't take it. No. You're addicted. I'm not. So actually caffeine is addictive. Why? Because when you take it, it alters our mood. When it alters the mood, something alters our state of mind, it gives a temporary rush Then we want again, then increase it. Now you have the thick black coffee that is concentrated caffeine. This destroys power of austerity. Because first thing you wake up, or not even, wake up, in the train. People didn't wake up in the bed. Tea, coffee, give me. Cannot, it didn't wake up even. Tea. Otherwise I can't get up, I can't function. So this is addiction. We may not see it. If someone has power of austerity, when the body demands, they can say no. But if we take intoxicants, you cannot become addicted. So anyway, we have our alcohol, drugs, tea, coffee, of course cola. Cola has caffeine, and some drinks. Then you have pan, tobacco, intoxicants. These are intoxicants. Smoking has some nicotine. So these things are intoxicants. Intoxicants destroy power of austerity. Okay, now illicit sex. As Prabhupada says, in Bhagavad Gita there's a shlok, Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamo asmi bharatarshava. Who knows this verse? Arjun. Krishna is telling Arjun that calm or lust or sex, which is on religious principle, is not wrong. They're talking about marriage. Because marriage is a sanskar, one of the sanskar, dashavidha sanskar. Or it's also, you can say, classified as a yajna. Yajna means something I do for Vishnu, to please him. For example, Sankirtan yajna, we're doing it for pleasure of Krishna, we do Sankirtan. Yajna can mean homa. Yajna also, dan yajna, gyan yajna, you distribute books, granth. Okay? So vivaha yajna means someone has restricted, otherwise someone can go to so many women. No, I am restricted to one. That is known as licit. Out of marriage, illicit sex is, according to Manu Samhita, is the worst sin. And when we say sin, what does it mean? The force that will bind us to the material body and make Maya cover us. All of these things do that, but this is the most, okay? Because the material pleasure is greatest. So we identify more with the body. Okay, now what is illicit relation? First, out of marriage, one. Now, surprise, even in marriage, in certain condition. What is that? When there is sex for producing a child, that is okay. In fact, before that, they do something called Garbhadan Sanskar. They do a Samskar praying to Krishna that let a pure soul, religious, Krishna conscious child come. Take shelter of the womb. So, that is okay. But for pleasure is illicit. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada explains. Because there's no dharma in there. There's nothing being served. Otherwise, if you say, I want to produce a child to bring up in Krishna consciousness, so a ceremony is done, then one unites with the woman, that is called licit. Okay? Not only ISKCON, we are talking about all Vaishnava Sampradayas, but things may be lost now, knowledge and all the background. But this is here. So, within marriage, not to produce a child. That means if there's conception, then nothing can happen till the child is born. Because you cannot produce another child. Then it's not for purpose of producing a child. Okay? So that's one thing. Another thing, illicit sex, Prabhupada explains. Not only doing, but thinking, willing, even seeing. If we see with the pleasure, desire. For the mind, it's not very different. Physically, if someone is with a woman, or seeing a video, or thinking, it's same effect. So, for example, pornography. This is considered illicit. And seeing with the aim of enjoying when seeing women. Thinking, seeing, reading, watching, all this is covered under illicit sex. Out of anything that binds us to this material world and body, this is the worst. Of course, as I mentioned, within marriage, in an illicit way, it is not wrong. It is religious. And one advances spiritually, by serving in that way. Okay, these are the 4 regulative principles. Everyone understands them. Yeah? Now, you see, a lot of things we discuss here. We may not say, I mean, many people may not be on that level. That's not an issue. We are just imparting the knowledge. You understand? I mean, sometimes we are in a Sunday program and people are doing all sorts of things and they all come here. Ooh, I mean, we came here to be pure. So we're just looking at the highest ideal, what it should be. Okay? Following the 4 regulative principles. So if you notice, you've attended many classes. I mean, all of you are what we call seniors. We had 1 year. We had a lot. You're coming not first time to ISKCON, even before you came here. That's why we didn't want all new people to come now. So in ISKCON, they don't tell people, don't have meat, don't have alcohol. They never preach this. Have you ever heard in lectures? Hardly, not much. We discuss bhakti, chant Hare Krishna, read the Gita, take prasadam. We discuss these things. Why? Because, you see, we made these 4 regulative principles. Maybe people cannot follow, they're having difficulty. But I never heard that someone, if someone who wants to, seriously within weeks, months is able to just give them up. Because bhakti is so powerful. Bhakti is a powerful purifying process that Lord Kapila in Srimad Bhagavatam compares it to a fire. Just like in a fire, whatever you put burns up. So bad qualities and karma, everything is burnt up in bhakti. Papa and everything. Then in our body, in our subtle body, whatever stored is burnt up. Because bhakti is such a powerful thing that for pure Vaishnavas, who has proper understanding of Shastra, they understand, sometimes they may see someone, this person is maybe, let's say, born in a background which may be socially one will consider low, let's say. But if they practice bhakti, devotees understand that whoever practices bhakti, they come on a pure platform, and then such a person can become a guru, can become anyone. They don't see the background. Okay, so this is the power of bhakti. So now, that means we don't tell people, don't do this, we simply tell them, follow bhakti principles. Then what will happen? These things will go on their own. Because if someone practices bhakti, they come on the sattvic platform. If someone is on the sattvic platform, automatically they get repelled from, smell of meat and this and that. Therefore, in a temple, in a congregation of ISKCON, nobody looks at these things. We don't even ask, are you eating meat? Don't eat. We don't say that. Whereas other religious systems, they have restriction. They'll ask, are you doing this? Don't do it. Why are you doing it? They'll put pressure. But we have faith that this system is so pure. Okay, so simply chanting 16 rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, hearing Katha, Krishna Katha means Gita, hearing Bhagavatam, all of this will gradually raise to the sattvic platform, and then Shuddha Sattva, which means spiritual platform, will come. Simply by following the bhakti process. There are many examples. I know many personal examples of people. They just came in association, they didn't even practice so seriously, then gradually they became very changed. I remember there was one person, he used to come every Sunday and attend. That time I was in another temple. I was in Salem. He'll come every Sunday program, months, literally 1 year, 1.5 years. And no one spoke to him. He'll just come, attend the program, dance little in kirtan and sit. Elderly man. Then one day I talked to him, after more than 1 year. So, how are you liking this process? Have you read the book? He said, I didn't read a book, but I'm taking the prasad every Sunday and I dance in kirtan. He said, only after coming here I'm able to give up meat, smoking, and so many bad habits. He didn't read, he just heard lecture, took prasad, and came for such a long time, gradually became pure. So many examples if you talk to people, how just by coming in association, they became purified. Because bhakti is so powerful. So these restrictions are there. We don't push them. But another thing you can understand is that we shouldn't willfully cultivate them. These 4 regulative principles. Also, it's my duty to tell you that Bhagavatam in 5th canto explains each hell that someone goes to when they break these. But there's knowingly, unknowingly, many principles are there. But this is given in Shastra. Not you burn in hell forever, some people say. Not forever. You get punishment. Then you'll come back and get another chance. So, in case, for example, somebody has any of these issues, then simply chanting more rounds, reading more, associated with devotees, and as Skanda Purana says, jumping in kirtan. When we jump in kirtan, the sins of our body fly away like butterflies. Very powerful. Taking prasad, hearing katha, like this, it will all purify us. Okay, so any problems following them, we simply intensify our bhakti. But these 4 principles, if someone wants to attain spiritual perfection, gradually we can think about following them. Okay? Nowadays it's hard, we have these smartphones. It's really horrible thing. It's a big problem because it's bringing whatever I say that nonsense is there, I'm not going to go there. No, it's in your hand. At your disposal, whenever you want. But if we take shelter of devotees, kirtan prasad, we'll be purified. Okay, these are the 4 regulative principles in ISKCON. Okay, did anyone understand any question on this topic? Yeah.
Like if anyone has the following thing, like he eats meat or he can take alcohol, he has some disposition, and then he comes to bhakti and side by side he's chanting, but he is also doing such things side by side.
It won't work. At some point, he will think, why am I doing that? Or he'll think, let me give this up.
No, I know some persons like they are following something.
They're following?
They are following and they are chanting and...
Okay, then they'll not advance. They'll not be able to advance from... If someone is chanting sincerely, taking prasad and everything, a day will come, they'll not want to do these things. I've seen that. So many years I'm preaching to people, I never had to tell people not to do this. I don't know, I never said it. I saw. Now if that is happening, that means anyway they're not advancing. Something they're not practicing properly. One of the things, either not chanting properly, not, if they follow everything, then it will purify. Yes.
I heard in some other ISKCON lecture where Prabhu said growing pets is also something which is against.
Growing
pets. Like
keeping pets. Keeping pets, yeah, devotees don't do that. The reason for that? Okay. It's not one of these, but that's to do with guna. Gun. You see, animals are in tamogun. Okay, now someone will say, oh, animals, why are you insulting? That is the way it is. Humans are generally rajasic, devatas are in satogun, and animals are in tamogun. So now, if you associate closely with animal, you'll become tamasic. That's one problem. Another problem is, God forbid, at the time of death, you remember that animal, then you take that body. This Prabhupada said. Third point, most things like dogs and cats, they drop hair left and right everywhere. Hair is considered impure. Therefore, devotees will keep short hair or shave. And hair is produced from waste products in the body. So now animals have a lot of hair and it will go everywhere. And definitely it will enter your food, water. You have seen that. Okay? But most harmful thing is that the tamogun, it's in tamogun, and you will remember this animal when you die. Like that happened in Bhagavatam.
Next birth, that
you take the dog or cat body. This is there, unfortunately.
cow.
Yeah, now the difference is a cow. And the cow, you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's a narration in Chaitanya Bhagavat. He goes to astrologer. Can you tell me my past life who I was? So astrologer doesn't know who is he. He's checking, he's looking at it, that in past life you killed a lot of people. It means he was Krishna. Krishna avatar. Said something, you killed many people. You took many births before that also. You kept changing your varna. Something. He said, no, that's not true. Past life, I took care of cows. I was very much associated with cows. That's why I took a Brahmin birth. So cows are different. If you see and associate with cows a lot, we take a higher word. That is different. Cow you can keep in the house. Actually, they do traditional. That's okay. All demigods reside in the cow. Lakshmi resides in the cow dung, Ganga in the cow urine. Okay, now it's late. Question, okay, tell me. By the way, one second. Can you set up so we save time, Prashadam? Set it up. Here.
Actually, all these principles are in a regulative way allowed for the Kshatriyas to break it.
Kshatriyas, they, in a regulated, controlled way,
In a Vedic way,
they, it was not imposed. There are different reasons for that. For example, killing is that it's very hard to kill. So to practice, they'll enter the forest and kill violent animals. They were allowed. Then with their hand, not with a gun, with a knife, they'll go and kill, and then they'll put it, and that's not considered sinful if it's followed everything properly. Okay, and intoxication, all these things. It was. That was.
So technically, we see that today in Kali Purusha, the Kshatriya mostly, because
Today what? Kali Purusha?
Kali Purusha mostly resides in Kshatriyas in this way, because even today Kshatriyas do all these activities.
No, everyone is doing these things.
But predominantly Kshatriyas.
No, everyone does. Everyone. If you just go out of here, everyone's doing. Africa, Europe, alcohol everyone buys.
Nowadays,
But we see it from the Kshatriyas and we learn it.
Okay, that is here, but now the Varnashram doesn't exist in, say, Africa, Europe. It broke down so badly, and we mixed up everything. They're doing all these things. In even that age, they understood these people are different. They can do, we cannot. Religious principles were understood. Yeah.
Small question.
Yeah.
So, animal sacrifice is justified?
In the Vedas.
Yeah. See, what I feel is you should sacrifice something which is dear to you, and not just.
That was a different. That animal, they took away the life, but he got the life back in a second. Out of the fire, he'll come out with a new body, young body.
Yeah, that's right. But in the present time, I don't think it's.
No, it's not allowed. In Kali Yuga, it's not allowed. Many things are not allowed in Kali Yuga.
But still, there are places where it's justified and it's still.
They'll get sin. They will get heavy sins.
So, sacrifice is sinful in this generation?
Yes. You can't do animal sacrifice now. Previously, they had that power to give them the new body. Put plates and everything. So now it's not allowed. That was previously. Okay, Hare Krishna. Now, last, some announcements are here. Okay. First point. You have a question, okay? Kshatriya point.
I have heard that although Kshatriyas are allowed to do these things,
Yeah.
but it's still sinful when they get.
It is still sinful.
Because it is in connection with Dharma.
It's still sinful. We see in Bhagavatam,
That's how.
one of the Kshatriyas, he died, went back, and then all the animals he killed came to attack him. It's not that it's not, but it's much less, because he did it in a dharmic following.
Prabhu, what a devotee, devotee is an army man.
That's a complicated thing, because before, war was allowed in dharmic yudh. These are not dharmic. They'll kill people, they'll kill
But for the
innocent
country,
people.
for like you're fighting for the country, and
If if there is no option, you're doing to earn money and then serve God, that's different. But if you have option and one goes in, then it's very, what they call army people today, they kill civilians, and it's not like before. Some countries are more ethical, but generally it's not. But now you have to protect land and country. You have to do, you do it. To protect your country, you can join army. Okay, some announcements here. Okay, number one. So a lot of you are putting sadhana reports, very good, nice, you're chanting, reading, I just have to say, very nice, okay, daily. Second thing,